Welcome to Tarheel People, the show in which your friends and neighbors in North Carolina share interesting and useful information. And now, with today's guest, here's your host, Jean Kitchin.
Welcome to Tarheel People. Today, folks, we have got fantastic recipes for tailgating. We've got Ladyfingers Catering. We've got Tudi Jackson and Emily Coury as executive chef and owner. And this time of year, I mean, what are we in North Carolina without preparing great things for our favorite teams to go and watch them? And y'all got some super ideas for that.
We do. We do a lot of catering for tailgating for football. It's very popular around here, and it's always a lot of fun for us.
So do people call you, Tudi, and say, you know, can you pack me something to take?
Well, in addition to something we may show you easy for you to do yourself, yes, we do dips. People want meatballs. I'm sure you've been to many football games where you saw an enormous spread. Well, sometimes people are responsible for bringing their own fair share, and give us a call and we'll make it for you.
Great. And can people go online? You've got a great website. Can people go on there and see some of the ideas?
Yes, we'll be putting up a tailgating menu, things you can pick up. I mean, down to smoking meat, to side items, to casseroles, to sandwiches, potato salad, country ham rolls. There's a little bit of everything. And
I have to say, folks, the real benefit of that is you don't have to wonder if everybody's going to like it. Everybody will love it, because everything I've had that y'all made is just, as my husband says, this is just over the chart. I mean, he said this is just the best version of this, better than any he's ever had. So, Emily, what are we going to jump in and make first?
All right, so this afternoon we're going to be making gourmet nachos, and we're going to start out with our pineapple salsa.
Okay.
So I'm going to show y'all how to peel a pineapple.
How do you choose a pineapple?
You know, you don't want it to be mushy. You want to feel for firmness, like most fruit. If you feel that it's giving when you press into it, then you know it's probably starting to break down and be too soft.
Does the color of the skin matter at all?
The color helps. You know, you don't want it to be too green. That's usually a good indicator of it being ripe. But see, it'll kind of start at the bottom to turn yellow and fade up. So.
Okay. And of course, you washed everything.
Absolutely. You want to wash everything before you start using it. The cilantro, because you won't see it, but that'll hold a little bit of sand from where it was growing, and you know, you want to wash everything always.
Okay, great.
All right. And so you want to cut both ends off?
that's very intimidating to me. I'd love to see this happen.
And then you just want to shave the side, and when you do it, you just want to push. You want to get these little guys out. So,
Emily, I love fresh pineapple, and people who've never really gotten a fresh one and cut it up have no idea what they're missing. I mean, it doesn't taste anything at all like canned pineapple.
I agree.
Not at all. Even down to the texture is different.
And nutritionally, I would think getting, as you mentioned in an earlier show, that fresh always has more nutrients in it.
You don't have the preservatives or the canning. You know,
or the added sugar.
Exactly.
I mean, they're sweet enough without having to add it. I have always cut them and then cut off the sides, but I think that's interesting, your technique with doing the whole thing.
It's much faster, and I like to take that approach with a lot of other fruits. For example, peeling oranges, cantaloupe. Just once you get it down, it goes a lot faster.
And y'all have fruit among the sides that you offer in your box lunches and stuff. You've got a fruit component too.
Fruit, as well as many homemade side salads, broccoli and bacon salad, black bean and corn salad, black-eyed pea salad. Emily does a wonderful Mediterranean pasta salad, which is oil-based. And we can do a southern-style potato salad, or we can do a sour cream and chive potato salad, which is good as well.
And people get to pick, I mean, if somebody is designing their company lunch or whatever, they can get boxes, and you can pick from each of 3 or 4 categories?
You have a sandwich, and I have a set of kind of regular sandwiches, and then I have a gourmet selection as well. You get 2 fresh side items, a dessert, and a beverage.
Wow.
And that's great for tailgating. If you really need to get out there and get people fed, but everything you need, your napkin, your fork, it's all in the box. So it's a really quick approach for those who just are there to watch football and just need to eat, just to stay conscious through the game. And
as opposed to either making it yourself or buying something from the grocery store, y'all are local, y'all are a independent, locally owned business. You know, who doesn't want to support your local people because you keep your dollars in your community and just and do yourself a favor with the quality of what you're serving.
That's right, down to the bread on the sandwiches. We use a local baker in Pittsburgh.
Oh, good.
So we're real happy to have everybody, and we look for those things, and new businesses are coming up everywhere, and as we all well know, get out there, go visit them, go see them. People did the same for me. So when my husband and I think about where we're going to go to dinner, I think long and hard before I choose.
Yeah.
Because people afforded me that same courtesy, and I appreciate it.
I do business with people who do business with me.
That's right. That's right. That's
Okay.
why you're a success, Jean.
Oh, well, thank you, Tudi. Pineapple. So you carefully cut it, and I hope that, I'm assuming we were showing that you're cutting it. So pretty good sized chunks.
We're doing some bigger chunks, and then the rest of the ingredients will be a little smaller because you really want that pineapple to be a big part of it come through.
And
It's the star.
This is for the nachos, right?
Yes.
Tell us what you're doing, like how you're holding your fingers, Emily, when you're doing that.
So when you cut your knife, first of all, you kind of want to pinch it here at the top. If not, if you're cutting a lot of things, your hand will start to cramp up.
Carpal tunnel syndrome or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you go to cut, you kind of want to rest your hand like you're holding a tennis ball or something, so that you're protecting the tips of your fingers. You know, if you're coming up with the knife, you're more likely to, slide against your hand versus the blade cutting your hand off or fingers. So.
And why did you choose that particular type of onion?
The red onion, many things. The color really looks pretty with the yellow pineapple, and then I just prefer the taste of the red onion in with the very sweet pineapple because it's a little sharper in flavor.
And I was thinking Vidalia would be a sweeter one, so it wouldn't be.
It doesn't have that contrast exactly.
Okay.
And then going in raw, it gives you a nice crunch.
So when people pick this up, Tudi, how would it be packaged?
Well, a lot of times, especially if you want to pick up in advance, sometimes getting ready for the game, you're doing a lot of other things. In some situations, we may separate the ingredients and give you some minor heating instructions. We fresh fry our own chips, as we may have showed you already. So we keep them crisp, we'll keep them separate, and then anything that has any liquid or water, we'll just, give you kind of a building plan.
So in homemade chips, I mean, they're right here. Do you want to, Tudi, how about telling us how these are made?
They are from fresh
Corn tortillas,
and they're just cut into.
Just cut them in quarters.
Cut them in quarters, lightly, fry them, and then lightly salt them with a coarser sea salt.
Okay, so nothing is put on these or anything. They're just put straight in the hot.
Just put in the hot oil. Excuse me. The onion's very strong.
I would make sure your oil's clean. That's important for anybody. We use a little tabletop fryer sometimes. We also have an industrial one, but you can get something, around town that travels well with you that seals off the oil. Clean oil, though, I think that's a good start for anything.
And do they stay crisp for a pretty good long time?
I think they do. You'll be surprised, especially homemade.
If you put them in an airtight container, they'll stay crisp for a few days.
And when do you put the sea salt on them, Emily?
Right when they come out of the hot oil. Just sprinkle them with a little sea salt and they're good to go.
I love sea salt.
I do too.
I keep a grinder, and I just think it tastes so much better than the conventional, although I want to be sure I always get iodine and everything. But, for things where the flavor is right there on top, I think it makes a huge difference.
It does.
Okay, what are you doing now?
So now I'm chopping up some cilantro. And while I'm doing this, Tudi, I might actually have you squeeze this fresh lemon in there for me.
And you like those lemon and lime squeezers, don't you?
I do. I love those. It makes it so much easier and keeps the seeds out.
So you're putting lemon and lime on this?
Just a little bit of lemon. The lime will come later on in the show.
And that's for the flavor, not to help keep the pineapple from turning dark, or is it a combination?
It's for the flavor. The pineapple has enough acid in it to keep to where it won't turn brown like other fruits will. The lemon will help a contrast of flavor as well. It really makes the flavors pop out.
Emily, you are a good sport. You're sitting over there with all the fumes from the onion going up and you're just
Chopping away.
carrying on. So thank
That's,
you.
that's part of being a cook, so.
And part of what we're, trying to get for today is everything doesn't have to be over the top. You can take a very simple dish, put your own spin on it. For instance, we're using pork instead of regular things, and make it fun. Everything doesn't have to be so far out. People are learning so much more about food, and they're so much more comfortable with doing their own things. So the curve of growth and knowledge with people and watching TV, the Food Network, the internet, everything, you realize things aren't as intimidating as they seem to be.
And the fresh ingredients too. I just think that's it. And what did you
Makes
just
a
chop
world
up?
of difference. I did half of a jalapeno, and I kept the seeds in because
I saw
I
you
like
keeping
spicy.
the seeds in there, and I was going to say, Emily, golly.
I know. I'm bad. I love spicy food. So.
But there weren't tons of them. It was half of a.
Half the avocado.
Okay. Well, that's just beautiful. And we are going to, so then the next part you're going to be doing pork.
We're going to make the pork, and then we'll assemble our nachos.
Okay, so on the nachos you will put a slice of pork and some of the salsa, or how do you do it?
We'll build the nachos up. So we'll have a layer of the chips, and then we'll do cheese sauce, and then we'll do some shredded cheese. All of our toppings here, the pork and the salsa. On a dish.
On a dish. Okay, boy, I can't wait. And I know you can't too, so we'll be right back. We are going to complete the nachos for tailgating. And Emily, I said, where's the pork? Ladyfingers Catering, of course, and you said it's hidden down in there.
It is hiding right down in here. This is a chipotle orange marinade. So I take chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, fresh squeezed orange juice, orange zest, agave nectar, which is kind of the sweet component for it, and then a little olive oil, and that's it. Just blend it all up.
How long is it good to leave it in there?
I let this sit overnight. 30 minutes to 24 hours is good.
And do you ever pierce any meat to help it get in?
I do not. I don't.
You don't think it's necessary?
I don't think it's necessary. Now, if you want to really lock in your marinade, I would suggest vacuum sealing it. So you put it, you get a vacuum sealer, put it in the bag with your marinade, and suck all the air out, and that really infuses the flavor into it.
Exactly. Forces it in. Okay, well, good.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to sear this off. We want to kind of lock in and give a good crust on the outside of the meat.
That sounds great, doesn't it? Wow. And then you said sear it, but then you're going to finish it off in the oven.
We're going to finish it off in the oven. And we'll cook it, pork you want to cook kind of like the same as chicken, 350, 325, something like that, for about 20 minutes. However, the internal temperature for pork, you can take it out at 145 degrees, whereas before 2011 they were saying keep it at 165. So.
Emily, one of the techniques that you're referencing with this is with meat, to lock in the juices, it really is good to sear them because that does provide a
it's a good crust, so it's also the textural thing. But then another important aspect is when you pull it out of the oven, you want to let it rest for about 15 minutes, so then it reabsorbs all the juices. So
yeah, I've heard of people who just go ahead and slice it and all the juice just runs right on out. So
you can't be impatient with cooking. about 15 minutes when you pull it out of the oven. And what a good thing to do is make a tent out of tin foil. And that just, creates a nice environment where it reabsorbs all of its juices.
So after you take it out, you put a tinfoil tent over. How about that's interesting. Did you know that, Tudi?
I have seen her do it. And one time I thought she was crazy. Now I know she's on target.
Yeah. I've just heard with all really nice pieces of meat to sear them, so you keep that juice in there. But,
Absolutely.
Are you trying to brown it up or just sear it?
We're just getting a sear on the outside. There's a lot of sugar in this mix, so I don't want to, that sugar will caramelize and kind of taint the flavor. So I
think it's
give a little
worth
sear on
saying.
the outside.
I wish you could smell this, folks. This is just the most incredible aroma coming from that. Wow.
Well, and just seeing how much marinade is involved, I mean, that's a lot of commitment to one piece of meat. Isn't that great?
It really is.
Sometimes in cooking, it's a lot to make a little, but that little is
worth every bite of it.
You're exactly right.
Absolutely.
Well, Emily, do you want to pretend that's
Yes.
time to go in there so we can
now,
be sure and show the rest
this
of it?
is kind of the color that you want to go for.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
All right, and then...
And I like that it's been on a griddle so you can see the marks on it, too.
Get the good marks.